We're here in Leeds, and this is a week of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Today, we are focusing on the ugly. Not because of any reason like a bad hygiene rating or anything like that. What's ugly is kind of like around the reviews of this place and the response of the owner to them. We're outside Oriental Express. This is a Chinese takeaway in the Pudsey area of Leeds. Whenever there's a bad review, the owner of this place bites back. Let me tell you, she takes no prisoners. I've had a look online and I've got some examples, right? Somebody complained that the food was really bad and even their dog wouldn't eat it. She replied, "Next time, I'm going to give you dog food instead." Somebody made a general complaint about a delivery they had over the Christmas period. Her response was, "Are you sure you're not drinking too much?" Someone else complained the food was pretty poor. She said, "Maybe you should be checking out your local food bank." Okay, blimey. And then someone said the food was cold and the chips were soggy, and her response is, "Just cook your own then." She doesn't muck about, this woman. She does not muck about. To be fair though, she's defending her business. Not sure it's the best way to go about it, but it's made her a bit of a sensation. We're going to try the food. Hopefully, I'm not going to have to make any complaints about it, because I dread to think what she'd say to me. I don't want any ideas from you either, camera person. Huh? Don't point at my belly. Right, let's get over the road and get some Chinese food ordered. I have a list of things.
Oh, right. Very organised.
Very organised. I try. It doesn't always work, but I try.
Very good.
Okay, can we please have, you have on your menu, I think it's a combination starter for two?
Yeah.
Can we also have beef with oyster sauce, a sweet and sour pork, a king prawn chow mein, special fried rice, and a hot and sour soup, please. And that is it. Thank you.
Are you paying card or cash?
With card, if I may. Yeah, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Payment approved. There we go. There we go. Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear.
So I heard from a friend of mine who ate here before
Okay.
that
So,
if I wasn't happy with the food and I put a message online, I might get a nasty surprise from you. Is this true? Is this true? You defend yourself?
yes, I did.
Yeah, that's good.
So, you know, if it's January, it's fine, but
Yeah.
somebody, it's just a nonsense.
Yeah, they just try and make trouble. Yeah.
So, then,
Wow.
You know, then I'm not going to having that. If you are said something not right, give me
Yeah.
what is the reason.
Right.
Then I will, correct that and do it better.
Yeah, that's the best way to do things. But
That isn't,
yeah, of course.
They're trying to destroy the reputation.
Right, I understand.
Down.
Yeah. It's not fair. That's right. So there we go. So what she's saying there is basically some people just posting nonsense on reviews that isn't true, isn't fair, and therefore she's just fighting her corner and defending herself. No problem with that at all. So the order I've put in comes to £51.10. We'll have a little bit more of a look at that in detail when I've got the receipt. But yeah, let's get the food and get it tried. So folks, rather than getting a table and chairs out of the car and sitting out in a car park and reviewing it, I thought, why not do what most people would do? You go to the takeaway, you bring it home to eat it, don't you? We're staying up here in an Airbnb for a few days to film this series. So we got somewhere with proper crockery and cutlery, we can come and eat it. So I'm going to start with the starter bits. We've got the hot and sour soup here and that combination starter for two. I'm going to put some of the stuff on the plate, put the soup in the bowl, and we'll get cracking. So got myself set up here with the starter bits, like I said, the Peking hot and sour soup in the bowl there, and all the different bits out of this combination starter for two. Funnily enough, there's 3 ribs in the box. How you share that between 2 people, I don't know. But I've taken 1. Bonus for the camera person. So what have we got here? Rib, spring roll, prawn toast, crispy wonton, Bit of crispy seaweed, which I guess is basically just deep fried cabbage like usual. And a dip. I don't know what it is. Kind of sweet and soury kind of thing. I guess just for dipping these little bits in. Start with the soup. All sorts in here. Bits of chicken, bits of pork. There's veggies, bamboo shoots. All in that kind of almost gloopy, isn't it? The stock you use in the hot and sour soup. I guess it's like, it's egg, isn't it, that goes into it. That kind of thickens the soup a little bit. It has a very good flavour and a really nice chilli hit. Oh, I like that. The bamboo in there still has a crunch. The meat, all shredded up, lovely and soft. There's bits of shredded carrot in here too. A little bit of sweetness and a lot of chilli. And that's exactly what I'm looking for from this. That's really tasty. I'm going to enjoy polishing the rest of that off. Of course, complimentary prawn crackers. Anytime you spend over about 15, 20 pounds in a Chinese takeaway, they'll bung in some prawn crackers for you, won't they? On to the little platter here. Before I start tucking into that, I just want to say, while I was in the shop waiting for this to be cooked, I had another little chat with the owner off camera. Her name's Atlas, and she was explaining a little bit more about the issues that she's had online. So people just putting not constructive criticism, just a comment saying, you know, the food's crap or it's disgusting. And, you know, I kind of get where she's coming from there, because obviously we get criticism online too, and it's not very constructive, a lot of it. We all want to learn, you know, whether you're a business owner, whether you're on YouTube, whatever, you want to learn what people like, what people don't like. Just telling somebody rubbish isn't helpful at all. And I get where she's coming from, that she wants to defend her corner when she gets that kind of criticism. She said, you know, if you were to write a comment on there saying, I didn't like this dish because blah, 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 what was wrong with it, she can learn from that. She can understand where you're coming from. Just saying something's rubbish is no good at all. Anyway, moving on to the foods. We've got the little crispy wontons here. Let's dip it into this little dipping sauce. Crispy, filling inside. Some prawn in there. And it's tasty enough. We'll stick with the prawn theme and go for the prawn toast. Now, this is one of the unhealthiest foods in the world, probably, because it's basically just fried bread with a little layer of prawn on it and some sesame seeds. Now, if you go to a decent Chinese restaurant, you'll find quite a good layer of prawn underneath. Chinese takeaways tend to just have a very, very thin layer, simply because it's an expensive ingredient. It's fine though. Got a nice little sesame flavour. Crispy texture, because it's fried bread. It's fine. Is it the best prawn toast I've ever had? No. Is it a regular Chinese takeaway prawn toast? It certainly is. Move on to this spring roll. Let's cut into it. Crispy again. So inside here, you've got the usual bits of carrot and bits and bobs in there, isn't there? A little bit of ginger. Some garlic in there. And the filling's a little bit softer than I might like. I like to have a little bit of crunch from some of that shredded vegetable still in there. Seaweed. Again, just fried cabbage, basically. I don't know how they get away with calling it seaweed, but they all do it, don't they? And we'll move on to the rib. I'll say 3 in the portion. Coming away from the bone very easily. They're dry ribs, obviously, not in a sauce. For me, a little more flavour. I'm picking up Chinese 5-spice on there. But I'd like a little bit more in that marinade. just to zhuzh up the flavour a little bit. But it's not bad though. It's not bad. Certainly nothing I'm going to write a bad review about online. What am I going to think about those sort of starter things? I mean, decent enough, not brilliant. 6, 7 out of 10, something like that. But, is that what you have to do? Getting looked at like I'm the least cool person in the world. 6, 7. No? Okay. Fair enough. She said I should cut that out. Right. What have we got here? Sweet and sour pork. That is £7.90. Beef in oyster sauce, £7.80. King prawn chow mein, £10.20. And a special fried rice. You got some char siu pork there. You got the king prawns in there again. And there'll be all sorts of goodies in there, shredded chicken and whatever as you get through it, which is £9.50. All fairly standard Chinese takeaway pricing, I'd say, really. Right, once again, I'll get myself a little plate set up. Once I've done that, come back and we'll see how it is. So here we go, folks. Got the main bits on the plate here. We got the special fried rice, the king prawn chow mein, the sweet and sour pork, and the beef with oyster sauce. So, king prawn, as you'd expect. It'll be a frozen king prawn, they always are, aren't they? The chow mein itself, the noodles, perhaps a little dry, maybe a little bit more soy in there would help. But the flavour's nice. You've got onion in there. And you know the way it is in sort of Chinese food where the onion is cooked but kind of barely cooked, so you still got that nice bite to it. Bean sprouts in there too. It's not oily, not greasy. Yeah, it just needs a little bit more oomph. I think a bit more soy in there, give that a sort of salty hit, would work nicely. We'll move on to the beef with oyster sauce here. All sorts of veggies in there. We got broccoli, we got some bamboo shoot, water chestnut, which is one of my favourite things. Again, there's onion, there's spring onion. A nice selection. There's some of this beef. Obviously, in Chinese food, the beef, I don't know, it almost kind of looks slimy sometimes, doesn't it? Well, that's just where they kind of, I think it's called velveting, isn't it? The process that they do. And it just kind of, it's just a way to tenderise the beef a bit more. Tastes fine though. No issue there. Again, for me personally, a little more depth in that sauce would be nice. Sort of takeaway, Chinese takeaway food. They kind of have to do a sort of mass appeal with it, don't they? So it's not always the punchiest flavours in there. But I will say, all the veggie in there, pretty good. On to the special fried rice. Which again looks, again, a little dry maybe. It was all being cooked to order, because in there, there's a long corridor down to the kitchen. And you can see them working away with the woks, sorting all the orders out. Nice bits in there though, look, you see a great big piece of shredded chicken there. Once again, the flavour, decent, but perhaps just a little dry. Maybe I should have bought another sauce. Maybe that would have been the answer. If I bought myself a curry sauce or an OK sauce or something like that, just to moisten everything else up a little bit. This is the char siu pork that came in the special fried rice. Again, flavour decent. But I'm going to repeat myself, perhaps a touch dry. Before we get on to the last thing, I haven't tried the prawn crackers yet, have I? Good crack to it. Good crunch to it. Not greasy. Definitely made today. Again, sometimes when you go for a Chinese and you pick up the free bag of prawn crackers, you get them home, and you can tell they're a bit stale. Not these. Nice and fresh. Nice and crunchy. No complaints. Okay, sweet and sour pork. Now, I didn't want to go for the sort of the pork balls or anything like that. It was interesting. You can tell you're up north. They sold this, you know, they were not being sold as like sweet and sour pork balls or chicken balls or whatever. They were just like battered balls, and then you pick your sauce to go with it. So you could have had sweet and sour sauce. You could have had OK sauce. You could have had curry sauce. Or gravy. Of course you can. Yeah, I'll have some king prawn balls and gravy, please. Only in Yorkshire. Very light batter on this pork. Still tender within. Once again, the veggies in here have got a nice bit of bite to them. Carrot, onion, plenty of peppers. And the sauce isn't overly sweet. I think that's a problem sometimes with sweet and sour. It just edges more onto the sweet side than the sour side. I think that's okay. Let's get some of this rice mixed into some of that sauce. That'll bring everything to life a little bit. Yeah, it's decent. Is it the best Chinese I've had from anywhere? No. We got a great one down in Dorset that we use, which knocks the socks off of anything else in our local area. And this doesn't compete with that. But what are we going to spend here? £51.10. This is only for 2 people. I think we've over-ordered. Because we've got one whole thing of the chow mein and the rice, a couple of dishes, soup, starters, the works. So we've got ordered more food than we need to. But we're going to crack through as much of it as we can right now. And then I'll come to you with my summary right at the end. So then, folks, stepped outside onto the balcony here at our Airbnb accommodation, enjoying a nice sort of clement evening. Oriental Express in Pudsey, Leeds. What do I think overall? It's not the best Chinese I've ever had. It's not the worst Chinese I've ever had. It's just kind of a bog standard, average neighbourhood Chinese takeaway, you know? And run by a nice lady who's trying to do right by her community by serving them half decent food at a fairly reasonable price. Nothing here stands out as like crazy money. $7.80 for beef and oyster sauce. It's more expensive where I live. Sweet and sour pork, $7.90. Again, more expensive where I live. So we had £51.10 worth of food there. I reckon that would feed 4 comfortably. We've over-ordered. We have over-ordered. No doubt about that. If I was going to come up with a score for it, well, I'm going to sort of say, you know, like a 6, 6.5 out of 10. Nothing has blown me away. Nothing has gone, that's horrible. I want to write a bad review about it online. So, Alice, if you're watching, I'm not going to write you a bad review. There are certainly things there that I would have liked done differently, that I think could have been done better to my personal tastes. That's fine. You may agree with me, you may disagree with me. That's what personal taste is all about. Does it get Greeno's green light? I mean, would I go back there again? If I was in the area, you know, a push, and I wanted to go and have another chat with Alice, maybe. But like I say, nothing's blown me away. So it's more of sort of like amber to green kind of area. You know, if you like the look of the food, you go and try it. I like the lady, though. I think she was really nice. She was really nice. And I think the unfair criticism that she's got online from some people, it's just not, well, I've said it, haven't I? It's unfair criticism. It's not fair. You know, if you don't like the food, give constructive criticism. Don't just go on there saying, I wouldn't feed it to my dog. That doesn't help anyone, does it? Tell them what you didn't like, specifically, so that they can maybe think about fixing that. Or maybe you're the one in the wrong. Who knows? Who knows? I know I'm not always right. I got an eyebrow raise from behind the camera. Okay, I am always right. I know. But, you know, it's okay to have a difference of opinion. It doesn't mean something is automatically rubbish just because it's not exactly to your taste. Anyhow, that's going to be it from me. I'm going to say this isn't ugly, okay? It's just a regular Chinese. It's also not an ugly duckling, though, in terms of a place that looks like it's going to be terrible and just wows you, because I've not been wowed. It's fine. It's fine, you know? Anyway, enough of me rambling on. That brought a smile from behind the camera. Okay, I understand. Don't forget, if you've enjoyed this video, click a thumbs up. Hype if you're one of the cool kids. Subscribe to the channel, ding your bell for notifications, take a look around the vault. We're getting this series, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, up and running, so there's a few in the playlist of that already. Yeah, I'm enjoying doing this little series. It's taking me to some interesting places I might not otherwise go. And I hope you're enjoying watching them. Let me know in the comments. Right, I'll tell you what, there's a canal down behind me. If I was Tom Daly, I might just clamber up on here and just... But I'm not, so I won't. I'll see you next time, folks. Bye for now.